like a Chris Rock or someone.
Oh, yeah, Chris Rock.
Was,
totally.
You know, where you're just like, oh God, these guys are geniuses. It was like the guys I saw on TV that like weren't that good. And I was like, well, I could be that good.
Right.
I know I could be that good. If that's what it takes to get on TV, I know I can be that successful.
I can do that.
Yeah, and then even at the Improv had everybody, but
oh wow.
But I was watching some of these people, and they were like, oh, they're not that funny, dude. I can be that funny.
Right.
And then I got a job at the Improv, which I think is probably around when I met you, and that was in like 2004.
Was Anthony Clark working there then too, or not? Do you remember that?
Anthony Clark wasn't. Yeah, he was there all the time,
but he wasn't working there then.
No,
because I would see. Oh no, he never worked.
He never worked there. He was just always.
He was always there. Was he there then? That's what I mean. Yeah, I thought he worked there.
No, he was drinking at the bar so much that we should have paid him. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony. I haven't seen Anthony Clark in years,
and no one has.
Wow, he was a television star. I mean, he was on one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, Yes Dear.
Yes Dear.
And then his other show is Boston Common.
Oh yeah,
remember that? Deep cut references.
I have to get, dude. I would love to sit and talk with Anthony Clark. I bet he'd be really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I hadn't thought about that. So you worked at the Improv.
Yeah, and then it was like
You crushed when you got on stage. We did a show at USC together one time, I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
And that might have been maybe when Workaholics was out. And then after that came out, it was just, you just went into this other world that a lot of us aren't in.
Yeah, well, we got so fucking lucky. You know, it was like, that's what it is. It's like you just sort of prepare and try to put yourself in the right place at the right time, and then you get your shot, and hopefully you're able to hit it, you know?
Yeah.
And we got so lucky. It was funny, like when Workaholics came out, because like I was kind of the kid at the Improv where I was like working the door and shit, and then I'd come on stage, and like there wasn't a ton of respect. Where it's like, yeah, we know he worked here,
right? Like yeah, sometimes that guy would even be up there. He'd be mid-order. He'd be taking his fries. They'd call his name.
Yeah,
I remember watching one guy do a set one time with fries in his hand.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a. And then as soon as the show came out, Workaholics came out, then all of a sudden it was like all the older comics were like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" I'm like,
yeah.
Bitch, you don't know me. Oh, so now we're friends. Okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
Hollywood is weird like that, man. It is weird. Sometimes there's a certain, like, someone needs to have the same experiences as you, and then that can it can make you feel like you can talk to somebody or things are a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
There are weird levels.
Well, yeah, there's levels to this shit, as Meek Mill said.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's like you just talk to people that are like, I feel like we are kind of in the same class within like a few years of each other, kind of know, you know, and then there's like kids that are coming up that you're like, oh, they were the class beneath us. And it's not that they're worse or better. It's just that they came up at a different time.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's like whoever you were like doing open mics with, or like doing the like first group of like bringer shows with, that's who you're like, hey, hey, we're gonna be friends forever because we performed in a Chinese restaurant, you know, because we're performing when there's literally bowling happening right here, like we're getting heckled by bowling pins, so we're always gonna know each other.
Yeah, there's something kind of it's weird that there's something weird about that when you come in at the same time. Who kind of introduces you to somebody else is interesting too, because it's almost like if somebody like you get co-signed kind of by somebody to be, you know, because some people it's like some people their lives get so busy, it's like it's hard for them to just be friends with every single person that comes along too, you know, as their career gets busier and they get more known.
I know, dude, like now I'll go into the Improv and shit, and I like won't know people. Which is like, it sucks, because it used to be like you go to the comedy club and you know everybody.
Yeah.
Like you know everybody, including like the wait staff, and you just know people. Then now I go in there and I'm like, hello, I used to be a comedian. Back in the day, I would go on this very stage.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats, man. Congrats on having a steady career in movies too, because I know that probably gets pretty tricky. I want to think about what that's like with you, but first I want to think a little bit about the new movie, because Tom Segura has his special is coming out on the same day.
Yeah, I think it's the same day or just about the
That's
same.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
He was
Tom's
just
great.
on. His episode's up right now. Tom is so funny. So tell me about Outlaws, man. I want to know a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it was.
You're an executive producer. I know that.
Yeah, producer on it. The writers, Ben. I always butcher his last name. Like I got called out on it. My agent was like, "You're fucking up this guy's name. It's Zazove. Ben Zazov. Great guy, awesome writer. Ben and Evan Turner. They wrote the movie, super funny. They brought me this idea years ago at the tail end of Workaholics, and they're like, it's Meet the Parents meets Heat, and so it's if your parents are your future in-laws are international bank robbers, and they rob the bank that you work for, and so there they are, and we cast Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, that's Pierce Brosnan from 007?
007, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. Nina Dobrev plays my fiance. Michael Rooker's in it. Lil Rel.
Oh, Laurel's in there, yeah.
My boy Blake Anderson has a small part in it.
Oh,
So it's the cast is sick. So they pitched me this idea, and I'm like, just a fucking idiot, dude. And I was like, that is a brilliant idea for a movie. I want to do this movie. Wrote it down in my notebook. Lost that notebook immediately. Forgot all about it, and years later, I'm like looking through an old notebook, being like, "Oh, what brilliance did I write down in here? What gold?" And you're like, "Ugh, gross, hated, bad idea, stupid."
Yeah, recipe.
Yeah. It just says apples. It's just saying to eat fruit. And then it was this idea, and I was like, "Oh, fuck, that's brilliant." I reached out to those guys. I was like, "Hey, I'm sure John Cena is attached or something, someone has already beat me to this."
Yeah, Flava Flav.
Flava Flav is probably, that movie star Flava Flav. And then they were like, no, nothing. So
Wow.
I developed it with them. We took it to Netflix, sold it, and then brought on Happy